In 2025, Disney has been a disaster. You take a look at the performance of Captain America Brave New World and the very likely performance of Snow White at the end of the week, and well, it hasn't exactly been full of gigantic W's. And do we even need to pull in the business side of things, and especially what's going on D+? Yeah, I think we can go ahead and let sleeping dogs lie on that one, but that, of course, doesn't discount that 2025 still has the potential of being a gigantic year for the House of Mouse. Case in point, what's coming out next month in the form of the live-action film Lilo and Stitch. Bro, this film is going to be huge. I've been talking about this for a while. I know that there's a very high likelihood, and I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion, but I think that there's a very highly likelihood that this film cracks $1 billion. Like, from the first trailer that came out, it looks exactly tailor-made to their target audience, which is exactly all that we want, man. Like, we don't want Disney to be anything other than what it absolutely is, and if they could stop trying to be what activists want it to be, could it just go back to being just simple, good old-fashioned family fun? Okay, like everybody points back, and do we really need to drag up all of the old tired examples, but the Disney Renaissance? And in more recent years, a lot of DreamWorks quality output. Like, there is good and universal children's themed content that's out there that can resonate with a wider audience. And you take a look at some of the best performers in recent years, and especially in the past calendar year, Disney, when they do it right, they get rewarded by the audience. A general perception of the company, notwithstanding, Moana 2, Inside Out 2 still made $1 billion. And if they want to appeal to a more quote-unquote mature audience, Deadpool and Wolverine also made over $1 billion, scripting notwithstanding. Like, the only one that I heard was a decent film was Inside Out 2. Heard Moana 2 was horrific, and Deadpool and Wolverine, I've listened to enough breakdowns to come to the conclusion that that was a key-jangling extravaganza, which is going to end up being to the detriment to the MCU. I'm looking directly at you, Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, and are they going to learn the right lessons from that? Absolutely not, but we can talk about that at a later date. I just want to talk about this Lilo and Stitch live-action remake, and yeah, even in the face of it just a catastrophic live-action remake with Snow White, this is one of those films that arguably is it's the most fitting for this format, because there is a certain pet-like quality to Stitch. I know he's designed for that, right? But really, when you take a look at that trailer, which I've left you in suspense long enough, it's like, here's the article that we're going to be taking a brief look at, but Lilo and Stitch trailer sets records as the second most viewed Disney live-action trailer of all time. Yeah, second behind 2019's $1.7 billion grossing Lion King teaser. And that one right there, like a Lion King live action remake, like that thing is a soulless CGI abomination where you don't see any live action at anything. It's just photorealistic remake. I think that's probably the most accurate depiction of that. But when you get the marriage between practical and digital, it can be perfect. And honestly, like, for as much crap as we give a Disney for their slapdash CGI, when they do it right, it's big. Okay, like, I've seen this trailer. We're not going to watch it or anything like that. I just want to, pause and use this as just a visual for a couple of things. And there's something that looks a little bit funky. I think it was the collar that was down there for a second. It just kind of flew off. But I don't know, him picking his nose with his tongue. It's like that. It looks really good. It looks really good. And the fact that he's going to be on screen for a lot of the film, he needs to look believable. And the way that he's integrated in this trailer, it's pretty good. Okay, like, I kind of like the trailer, and this is somebody who hasn't seen the original, but I mean, really does play to the whole pet dynamic for families, and the cast, it looks good. It's got all of the hallmarks of a hit, and really, like, if Disney wasn't such a brain-dead company, you would take a look at the success and the overwhelming admiration that this film is getting right now, especially off of this teaser. 6.2 million views on Twitter, and yeah, just the way that Disney, promotes this on YouTube, also getting, just in total 158 million views in a 24-hour period. You cast the film right, you're faithful to the source material. It's like the blueprint for success is right there. Can you duplicate that? Can you learn from your mistakes? But I also know that there's a Hercules live action remake that's on the horizon, and I know that you guys aren't going to do that one correctly. But got to give the devil its due. And this week's launch of the trailer for Lilo and Stitch was a huge success for Walt Disney Studios. After 24 hours, the trailer has become the second most viewed Disney live action trailer of all time. Just all of those caveats, like it's insane. Like you should just lead with the fact that, yeah, it drummed up 158 million views in 24-hour period. That is spectacular. That is an eye-catching metric, regardless of caveats. Okay, behind you, 2019's the Lion King teaser trailer. The way that you would go ahead and phrase that to make it look even more spectacular, just simply leading with that 9-digit metric, just go, yeah, only second to 2019's the Lion King teaser trailer that, you know, heralded a film that ended up doing $1.6 billion at the box office. Within an hour of release, Lilo and Stitch reached the #1 spot for trending on Twitter, yes, and remained in the top 10 for the hours following the trailer. Also trended on YouTube, taking the #1 spot following release, and even reaching #1 on China's Douyin platform, which... that's interesting because there's not a lot of Disney properties, especially in recent years, that have done exceedingly well over in China. So that kind of tells you that this is going to be big. Lilo and Stitch is, yes, a live-action reimagining of Disney's 2002 animated classic, opening exclusively in theaters May 23rd. I thought it was coming out in April. What's coming out in April for Disney? I don't know, probably more heartbreak before this ends up, you know, ferrying them to the summer, which could be interesting, right? Because, yeah, at the end of the year, they got a big W in the live-action Moana, and then also in Avatar 3. Oh, Christ, on a bike. But it's not all rosy sailings, but like I said, this could be an opportunity for Disney to really learn some important lessons. Like, if you want to do these live action remakes, have the proper story in mind that you want to do. Give proper attention to your CGI, give proper attention to casting, and don't listen to those freaks out there that just want to be aggrieved because it's a day that ends in Y. And we're talking about something that I seem to recall, okay, when the casting announcements were made to begin with. It's like, oh, very funny, okay. Like, my only problem that I had with the Lilo and Stitch trailer is, oh yeah, cool, there's one aggressive girl that's in it and just so happens to be white. I'm sure it's a coincidence, but there were a bunch of people out there that were big mad because one of the actresses that was cast to play, what is that, Lilo's mom, I think, or something like that, Sydney Agudong, okay, casting as Nani Palaki, you know, sparking backlash across social media. And yeah, this was running hot 2023, 2022 or something like that when this was first announced. And it's like, that's very interesting because I look at that name right there and it's like, yeah, she's Polynesian. And the specific picture that they have right there has a very is very evidently an overexposed picture. It's like, yes, she's probably Polynesian. She's very much of Hawaiian descent. I guess you're just big mad because, you wanted the authentic Hawaiian experience, so she's not 500 pounds. Okay, but she checks right demographics. Like, she looks, depending on the rest of the body type, from what we can see right there from that picture, it's like some things end up checking out, but it actually looks like, once again, like good casting. What's your concern here? Okay, now I understand that some folks are fatigued with Disney's live actions. Oh my God, I know BuzzFeed. Like, I thought you guys were canceled at this point in time. Like, not canceled in like your traditional leftist sense, but you guys just ran out of money and you got sold off. But thought you at least had enough money to properly finish the sentence. But as a Samoan woman, I was so looking forward to this one. I grew up the days before Moana. Well, a lot of people did. Like, that film only came out in 2016. Okay, anybody reading this is very likely didn't grow up with Moana. So the original Lilo and Stitch was my only mainstream representation. I mean, you could just watch football or the wrestling and you would have got a lot of Samoan representation. But I don't think that anybody really cares all that much. I know that we could go anecdote for anecdote here, but my favorite Disney Renaissance film is Aladdin, and last time I checked, I ain't got no flying carpet in the garage. Anywho, I can't tell you how much, yes, it meant to me to look up at my TV as a little girl and see a Pacific Islander character. Oh my God, shut up. And now you're going to be big mad about somebody who's, back in 2023, Sydney Agudong's casting announcement received immediate criticism and inundated a debate about colorism in the industry. See, this is why you don't capitulate to these fucking weirdos, because it's never enough. It's never enough. She is great casting for this role, okay? Like, let's find other pictures right there to just go ahead and, really drive this point home. And big shocker, bro, it just kind of seems like it was just, an overexposed picture. She's great for the role. Again, you're just mad that she's not 900 pounds. However, people started looking into the background of Sydney and found no indication that she's actually native Hawaiian in any databases, newspaper clippings. By their accounts, it appears that Sydney is white and Filipino. By their accounts. Oh, okay, cool. This sparked another wave of backlash, and Nani's native Hawaiian identity is essential to the film. Well, did they change the character that's in the movie? That's all that Oh, no, right. You're just, once again, letting your racism out. I see. That's what you would claim, for people that are saying, why did you cast a black person to play Snape? But this time around, oh, no, now just all needs to line up. But we're doing it for righteous reasons because I needed to see myself represented. Okay. It should be noted that Sydney has yet to respond to all the criticism or confirm her background. Yeah, because why? Why would you do that? Going to be in an incredibly successful movie. Capitulating to weirdos on BuzzFeed have never ended up in anybody's long-term career success. And if Disney plays their cards right, they could end up with the blueprint for success moving forward. Adapting faithfully, casting appropriately, and shunning the opinions of fucking weirdos. But are they going to do that? Who knows, man? It's been a rough start to the year. It could be a very profitable middle, and how they end up at the end of it, only God knows. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.